Wrestling Open main event is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, in the corner to my right, from South Plainfield, New Jersey, weighing in at 208 pounds, he is your Jersey legend, the sure thing, Ray Jazz. His opponent in the corner to my left, from your heart, weighing in tonight at 160 Valentines, the real-life Cupid, Love Dog!
You thought you weren't getting a chip tonight? Don't worry, I'm gonna give you a tip. You just gotta relax. Just a little bit. The Jazz tip of the day. The Jazz tip of the day. If you're not first, you're last. Doug.
He can't even get a word in. The Worcester crowd just drowning him out. I cannot remember a time that I've heard the crowd this loud at White Eagle.
Doesn't break records, Doug. Love doesn't win championships. Love doesn't get your hand raised. Love is something your mother told you every time you finished last.
Ray, shut up!
Wow, well, there's your Love Dog tip of the day, I guess.
That was more like a fortune from a fortune cookie. It's not really going to tell you what's going to be coming in the future. It's kind of a bit of good advice. Shut up, Ray Jazz.
Here we go, main event time. Love Dog finally stood up to Ray Jazz, and Jazz getting right out of the ring, wanting nothing to do with Love Dog. I think he's expecting to walk through this guy, quite frankly. I think Ray Jazz thinks he's going to tear through Love Dog.
No, I think that's what he's trying to convince Doug of. I think he's trying to get in Doug's head. I think he knows that Doug poses quite the threat. That's why he's taking his time on the floor right now.
We've seen Love Dog defeat BRG, Fancy Ryan Clancy, Jay Cruz, Pedro Donez, Elijah Six. I mean, he has strung together an impressive number of wins, and you can hear what Worcester thinks of Ray Jazz.
It's not even clever.
No, it's not. They just hate this guy so much, they're not even trying to be clever.
He's arrogant. He's conceited. I don't know that he thinks he's better than Love Dog, but he acts like he's better than Doug, and that's the difference.
Who doesn't he act like he's better than?
Oh, no, to your point, and that's why he hasn't endeared himself to the fans here in Worcester, Massachusetts.
This crowd doesn't even want to see a match. They want Ray Jazz to leave.
Nah, I want to see him get his ass beat. Hopefully they don't levy fines against me.
Well, I am with you. I want to see Ray Jazz get his comeuppance here, and Doug is the one to do it because Love Doug was minding his business, yet Ray Jazz just kept getting into his face like a huge bully. That's the only way I could describe it. He was bullying Doug.
He wanted to find something that he could pick a fight with, and look what it's done. It's earned himself the main event of Wrestling Open Episode 8.
Calling for a test of love. I don't know if this is the best strategy, for Love Doug here?
Well, Doug's no slouch. I don't know that he's as big or strong as Ray Jazz, but he's no slouch.
Wait, Ray Jazz just said, "I'll let you take my head on a headlock here."
No, it's a trick.
Position.
It's a trick. It's a trick, and Doug should know better. Because think about it. Think of all the counters that Ray Jazz can hit from this position, especially knowing that he's,
or he could just muscle him like that.
Sure, exactly. I mean, no matter which way, it wasn't going to end in Doug's benefit, and obviously, Ray Jazz showing off.
But Doug is not going to back down. We've seen him come from behind and show heart so many times. That's why Ray Jazz saying you have no heart is just...
It's a flat-out lie.
Yeah.
It's not accurate. It's not accurate, but what it does is it chips away at your confidence. But Doug's got about 200 people here in Worcester, Massachusetts, reminding him just who the hell he is. He's Love Doug.
He's going to let him do it again. He's going to let him do it again.
Well, let's see if Doug has a different strategy this time. If he can stay grounded, if he can maybe transition to a different hold.
Right into the corner. Look at the way he is just controlling Love Doug, even from a headlock position.
Yeah, typically they say in wrestling, when you control the head, you can control the body, but not in that instance.
Doug takes him down, shoulders down. Ray Jazz trying to use his muscle to keep Doug's shoulders on the mat, but look at this. Love Doug is controlling things here in our main event after Ray Jazz had dared him to get the upper hand. There is a right hand to the breadbasket of Love Doug, and Ray Jazz now just unleashing offense onto Doug. To the second rope.
Oh, look at this evasion from Doug.
Cross body. He caught Ray Jazz with it.
Could not transition into a pinning situation.
Nice drop kick from Love Doug. Ducks the close. Could it be the lariat? But no. Jazz saw it coming and hit a drop kick on the money.
Jazz is good. Jazz is good. I don't know that Jazz is as good as he thinks he is, but Jazz is very good.
I mean, we've seen him tear through everyone. Encore, Rayo, CPA, Tyree Taylor, Jorah Joel. This guy has beaten a who's who here at Open, but now this is the biggest test for him. This is his first main event. Doug was in the main event of episode 1. He's been in the spotlight, but with all of this personal animosity, it just takes on something a little different.
Stomping away as Ray Jazz, just grinding the sole of his boot into the side of the head. Not going to pick up a win that way. Got to be careful to be disqualified, but it sends a message. And you know what happens? You discourage Doug. You can discourage all the fans here in Worcester too, and then they're not going to have Doug's back. They're going to be deflated. That's part of the strategy coming into a match like this.
Doug trying to fight back in this one, but instead, Ray Jazz.
Oh my God! Did you hear that? It sounded like he busted a rib.
A kick to the midsection of Love Doug, and this crowd not happy with that. As we've seen this before, hangs on. Look at this strength and agility, and sends Doug crashing down, and the pain on Doug's face says it all.
I don't know that this is going to need 20 minutes. I don't know that it's going to need another 5 minutes. I cannot believe how much strength Ray Jazz has. That control to roll through back to a standing position, to lift his opponent overhead, to slam them back down.
A European uppercut there from Ray Jazz. As you want to talk about being completely in control. The all-time win leader at NYU, this guy is used to being in control on the mat, and now here at Wrestling Open, he is asserting his will on Love Doug.
Yeah, Doug's just getting snuffed out right here.
Just slapping him in the back of the head. I'm not even sure Jazz, I feel like he's toying with Doug.
Sure, but Doug's still showing he's got some fight. But just like that, every time Doug gets an opportunity to capitalize, he just gets run over by Ray Jazz.
Another snap suplex there as Ray Jazz keeping Love Doug on the mat. And look at this. This is just a display from Ray Jazz, really making Love Doug hurt. And if he wanted to test the heart of Love Doug, he is doing that right here in our main event.
Well, he might be able to break his spirit, he might be able to break his will, and he might be looking to break his back, too.
Oh, amateur style here with those strikes across the face.
I'll tell you what, have you ever had your jaw knocked out of place? No. I think we need somebody to do that to Sydney Bacabella. Hopefully it's Little Mean Kathleen next week. But nevertheless, I mean, that's something that requires surgery. I mean, that's 3 months at least on the shelf. drinking through a straw, all the muscle mass that you would lose. Those cross faces were very dangerous, and the fact that Jazz has just stayed on top and now is in this potential submission hold, bending. Love Doug.
Look at the way his leg is going.
I mean, he looks like a bow and arrow, something that you'd be looking to utilize if you were Cupid, but instead Ray Jazz utilizing it to try and put Love Doug into the loss column.
Trying to get back to his feet is Love Doug, trying to get out of this horrible position that he has found himself in. There's a back elbow. Another strike across the back. Could Love Doug get back into this match and show that he has all the heart in the world?
Just look at the pain etched on the face of Love Doug. That tells the entire story.
Back elbow there and look at that. Just a simple back elbow sends Doug crashing down yet again.
Where did Jazz put him down? Anywhere he wanted to, right in the center of the ring.
This guy is dominant. This guy is controlling. He is here in the main event, and not only is he beating Doug, but he is jaw-jacking with the fans at ringside. This guy's a monster.
And Jazz, throughout all this, looks like he barely broke a sweat.
No.
Even with the onslaught of attacks that Doug has lobbied back with, I mean, it's just virtually had no effect. No lasting effect, at least.
Taking it to Doug over and over and over. As much fight as Love Doug is trying to show here in our main event, Ray Jazz in complete control.
Overhead again into another slam, this time looking to put Doug away. A 2 count, and Doug is still in this fight. Now that folding press.
Another 2 count, and he's starting to show a little bit of frustration here. And that surprises me considering how dominant he has been in this contest, but look at Doug showing that heart, showing that determination here in our main event, trying to get back into this contest.
Well, Doug likes to utilize that rebound clothesline off the ropes. There's no position he's been in since the early moments of the match where he's going to be able to connect with it. Ray Jazz, on the other hand, we've seen that variation of a backslide, but
Into
more
the corner.
so that capture bomb, Paul.
Yeah.
Grabs his opponent's leg, lifts them overhead.
Oh.
And just a high angle slam.
Shoulder into the turnbuckle. Colliding. Doug getting his shoulder first.
Doug's got to be careful not to charge him, though, because he can find himself in that exact position for the capture bomb. Even with an overhead attack like this, Doug's got to be careful. Could not even find his footing, and instead Ray Jazz jumping up to close the gap.
A forearm to the face, and now Doug in a horrible position on that.
There we go. There's that capture bomb, Paul.
Capture power bomb. If he hits this cradle power bomb, that is it. Doug trying to fight it off. Hurricane Rana. Doug takes him over.
Doug able to break free. He's got about 20 feet the distance to the ring, and it looks like maybe Ray Jazz is cramped up on the leg the way that he landed from that Hurricane Rana. A double knees from Doug, but Doug fell right back down to the mat.
Here comes Doug. He is finding his way back in this main event, finding his way back in this fight, and showing Ray Jazz just how much heart he has.
What an onslaught in the corners. He's looking to send Ray Jazz to the opposite buckle. Sight set once again, and now charging over the forearm.
The flying forearm, firing away. Gonna try that bulldog, and he got it. Love Doug hitting the bulldog. Does he have enough to keep this going and pull off a victory?
Well, I think we know what corner the fans here in Worcester, Massachusetts are in, and that's Love Dog's. But Love Dog did not go for a pin right there, even though he's kept Ray Jazz down with that bulldog. That's a big tell to me.
Drop down, springboard into the back elbow. He caught him.
Still no pin from Doug, though. Doug might have that tunnel of love vision. I don't know what he's waiting for right here. That's twice he's had Ray Jazz down. And now why are you going to bring a stronger opponent back up to their feet?
Gonna try that sliced bread. He got it. He has won matches with that before.
Look at that, Paul. He's holding the back of his head. He rattled himself. And that might have been one wrist too many.
No, Jazz out at 2. Love Doug unable to secure the victory after the sliced bread. We have seen him pull it off before with that move, but the neck, too much damage has been done. And now Love Doug back to the drawing board.
I mean, a lot of these wrestling moves, especially the high impact ones, you got to do damage to yourself to do damage to your opponent. if you're really hurting, I mean, I know sometimes you get caught up in the heat of the battle, but again, I think that was
There
one
it is.
too many.
He got
Jazz
it.
had it scouted again. And on the
Oh
ropes,
no,
on the
you gotta
ropes.
be kidding me!
The ref didn't see it. That was right in front of us.
You gotta be kidding me with that.
The time of 11 minutes, 43 seconds. Here is your winner, the sure thing, Ray Jazz.
I cannot believe that Ray Jazz, he had to stoop to that level. He saw that lariat coming in. He knew what was about to strike him down, and he had to cheat to beat Love Dug in our main event.
The folding press, the hook of the tights, the leverage on the ropes, and Ray Jazz victorious once again. The main event, Wrestling Open Episode 8. That's a tough loss for Doug, I'm sorry. That's demoralizing, Paul.
That is very demoralizing. Ray Jazz pulling off the victory. Doug showed a lot of heart, but Ray Jazz showed just what a snake he is. Folks, thank you for joining us here at Wrestling Open. We will see you next week.